Hail to Harriet Tubman, also called her birth name Araminta Ross, similar to Diana Ross. The last name is the same as Diana Ross, Araminta Ross. Hear us as we pray. Araminta Ross, also known as Harriet Tubman. She was born sometime between 1820 and 1825, contemporary with Frederick Douglass. And like Frederick Douglass, she also was born in Maryland. Now, when she was younger, one of the slave master threw an object at another enslaved person, and it hit what became, well, her name was Araminta at the time, but we know her as Harriet Tubman, hit her. And she suffers from some type of almost like epilepsy, where she would just fall asleep, seem like sleep. But she used to have visions, and she believed came from what she called God. And everybody know the story how she traveled to the South about 8 to 13 times, rescuing 70 enslaved persons. Over and over again, she was persistent and consistent. Now, and she got that from the act of her mother. Now, her mother, whose name was Rit, R-I-T, had 9 children. 4 of them was was taken away from her and sold to another slave master further south. That's it's common where they used to break up the black family. And it's interesting because after slavery, up until 1960, and after slavery, the black family, the African American family, was the most stable family in America. But at that time, during the time of slavery, they broke up the family. It was common. And so the next time, later on, they wanted to take Harriet Tubman's mother's younger son. She hit the son for about a month. She hit the son for about a month. Then finally, they caught up with where the son was, and they came in to take the son. But what was amazing is the mother said, if any of you, and there was the slave master and some of his buddies, she said, told them, if any of you come across that door, I will split your head. And they left the son alone. They hightailed out there. That shows resistance. And Harriet Tubman learned that resistance work from that act of the mother. the resistance of the mother. And sometimes that's what we have to do, stand up. And Harriet Tubman also, even during the Civil War, she worked for a cook and for a nurse for a while, and then she was worked for a spy. And she led a troop in the South to rescue 700 enslaved people. 700. Harriet Tubman died in 1913. And this is a prayer to Harriet. Drink to Harriet. And a prayer that you will lead us on. Lead us our mind that is crushed. Like Genesis 3:15 said it would crush our head, would bruise our head. But deliver us. You know, there's many of us sick. Sick. Deliver us. Raise our consciousness. So we can, there's fight to be fought on to the victory. This year, 2020, is the time. Raise our consciousness, raise our mind, raise our wisdom so we can, and give us the courage to fight on and not to become a victim in our mind of Caucasian or Asian on the slave ship. There's some freedom now. You freed many of us, and we have to have complete freedom mentally, in our mind, in our soul, in our body. No more foolishness.